with Wild Man responding to your comments on YouTube like we promised. Here's the first one. How do older people in their 60s and 70s cope in US prisons, like old timers?
Well, they cope well actually, because what generally happens is the youngsters, the young lads what come in, they kind of get assigned to an old person. If it's a lifer or someone who's got respect in there, but it doesn't really matter if you're doing life or not. If you're over the age of 65, you're assigned a youngster, and what they actually do is, I mean, they're not going to fucking bathe them out, but they'll tidy your little area for you. Because older people, you don't expect them to clean up and do that stuff. The youngsters will do that. But most importantly is when a lot of people are out on the rec yard, that's a lot of the time where other races will start a riot. Because all you say, like, all the white boys are out there working out and doing stuff like that. So it's time for them to kick off inside. And as soon as it kicks off, everything closes. So they can't run in from the outside and join in. So there's always a few young lads indoors, assigned to stay indoors, and they do it on a rota to make sure if anything happens, they can look after the elderly. And I've noticed that. England prisons don't do that. It's everyone for themselves in England prisons. But in America, it might be ruthless for a lot of things. But for that, I think it's a nice touch.
Yeah, and some of these old timers have got what's called old numbers, which means they were arrested back in the day in the Arizona Department of Corrections. They got this really old number, and when the youngsters see those numbers, and if this dude hasn't committed any crimes like sex offences or anything like that, these guys have got a lot of respect because they've done so much prison time. You meet guys in there that have served like 20, 30 years in Arizona Department of Corrections. They know absolutely everybody. You know, they don't have to prove themselves anymore. They put in work when they were younger, earn their stripes, and they get respected by the younger people.
Yeah, and they have really good stories too. I mean, some of them know like the Dirty Dozen and like people. Some of them know the original people who started. Like say for the whites, the Aryan Brotherhood themselves, a small band of people started them off for sticking up for people. So yeah, it's they have a lot of interesting stories. Some of them grumpy old gets too, like, but you've got to expect that, haven't you?
And they got a lot of legal knowledge. So when I was at the remand jail and I was looking at all my legal paperwork, I didn't have a clue. And there's old timers in there that've got law books and they've got all of the case histories and they know how to file a motion in court and stuff like that. You know, you can go to these people and pick their brains and they'll explain a little bit of what's going on in the legal system for you.
Never go to a young jailhouse lawyer, by the way, because they haven't really got experience. You always go to an older guy who's got a bit of experience.
The jailhouse lawyer is a guy who's like learnt the law, and like if you've got no money, he might help you out for free if he likes you, or if sometimes they'll charge you like that's their hustle. You got to sort him out with items from the inmate store.
Yeah, get some tuners and some beef tips and stuff like that, or whatever he wants. You know what I mean? But it's worth it. Think about it. You get him $10 worth of stuff, but he'll actually get you. He can actually get you time off by telling you what to do.
Yeah, you see people getting released and everything.
Because the people who can't afford an attorney, they get what they called
Public pretender.
Yeah, the public pretenders who basically they don't try and get you off. They'll just bargain at the time of how much you're going to do. They generally go for the middle.
So Wildman had a public pretender, and I went out to the visitation room.
Oh yeah.
And she didn't know I was sat there listening to their conversation, and she's telling Wildman, Attwood's got a private lawyer. You know, he's taking care of himself. You need to cooperate with the authorities, and we'll get you a good deal. I'll just sign this plea. We'll get you a good plea bargain. Blah 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 blah. And I'm sat there. And Wildman's like, I ain't signing no fucking deal. Then he goes, I love the food in here, mate.
Red Death.
The Red Death. He starts saying how he loved this food that occasionally had a dead rat in it and everything. It was like carroty vomit blended with blood. That's what it looked like. And he starts telling her he loves Red Death, which is universally hated. And she starts to get this really freaked out look on her, like she was getting a bit scared, and she kind of left in a hurry, didn't she?
I was playing head games with her. I didn't mind it though. It wasn't the worst thing of fucking eating.
All described in the book Hard Time. Someone's asked what books are Wildman in. You alright to hold those books up?
Yes, certainly.
Hard Time New Edition and Party Time New Edition. Both 100 pages longer than the original editions. Loads more stories about Wildman. Wildman is like the second main character in Party Time, and I was in the jail with him as well, so he's in loads of Hard Time as well. Right, here's the next question. Why does the bald twat sat next to you have a gay laugh? I think perhaps you've got bigger balls than me, Li, is that why?
No, I don't know. Even if you don't have a gay laugh, but even if you did, so fucking what?
Toning down my laugh now.
So what if you've got a gay laugh?
Is there a Bronski beat laugh, lad?
No, it's fucking Elvis. You sound a bit fucking homophobic, you know what I mean?
Run away, run away, run away, run away.
Do you take it in the ass, by the way? Is that what it is? Is it a gay thing?
I think he's implying I dropped the soap in the shower, lad.
Yeah. I think he dropped it on purpose by the sounds of it. Why can't... Of all the good stuff we're trying to do, of all the positive stuff we're doing, why just be a little bitch and fucking say something about, oh, Shaw's got a gay laugh?
There's another one. You look as scary as my gay self. I'm slipping. I'm going back to the negative comments. Shouldn't be giving these people time of day. Should be focusing on the people who are genuinely interested in our story, shouldn't we, lad?
Yeah, but fuck them.
Was US better than Walton, our kidder? He's asking if Wildman preferred US prison to UK prison.
Well, to be fair, Walton gives you the backbone of what you need, especially when I was in there, because you were still shit pissing in a bucket. On my... You know what? I was just working out how old the fucking I'm 47 now. And on my 21st birthday, I got 2.5 years for street robbery. So it would have been 71, 81, 91. In 1992, I was in Walton. And you go on the guest wing straight first of all. You're there for a couple of days. And then you go on H wing and then you go on. But the old H wing at the time. And it also changes too. Because the wings start changing. But back then, you still piss and shitted in a bucket. And the atmosphere was grim. It was like, it was a completely different thing. It was 5 tiers up, and you'd see like strings going up and down with kites on it and drugs on it and all that. And you'd get people robbing it. But it's just a different scenario. It's not as, there ain't as not as much murderers and that in Walton. But in fact, the crimes I've seen in Walton, I never actually seen a one-on-one straightener. I've seen a couple, I've seen a couple of lads fucking piling someone's fucking cell and beat the shit out of him for whatever reason. But I never actually seen a one-on-one. Because you wouldn't have much time to have a one-on-one in Walton, because the guards are on you that fucking quick. Do you say you're going to have a one-on-one in Walton as if you're on your exercise hour, or they let you out, back then they let you out like on a Friday for a movie, and like guarantee you didn't get to watch that fucking movie, because within 10 minutes someone's got a fucking pool ball fucking round the fucking head, or something's happened, or some dirty little bastard shanking someone in the fucking ass, because that's where you got your most fucking veins or something apparently. But yeah.
Femoral artery in the thigh is a good one.
Yeah.
Alright, so Ralph says...
But Walton was different anyway, I enjoyed Walton.
Ralph says these two idiots have never been in prison, they're full of shite. I don't think that deserves a response.
No, it doesn't. If you can actually Google my name and fucking go onto the ADC or here, and it comes up with it.
Wasn't like the New Times reporters were in the court with us.
I know, yeah.
Stop being a bad woolly back, Shaun. You're from Widnes.
We say that piss taking with one another actually. It's a personal fucking joke.
It goes back to our childhood.
Yeah.
Is Wildman West Country?
No, I like cider, but that's about as West Country as I am. I'm actually from Widnes. About 8 miles away from Liverpool, 20 miles away from Manchester.
Who is this fool claiming to be shortchanging the Aryan Brotherhood? They would have ended his life.
Is that like John Kennedy?
That's the wizard.
The wizard.
Hey, wizard, you don't understand. They told me, right, that Wildman was on the run from the police and created all kinds of mayhem in Arizona. They said if I rehoused him in Mexico, the Mexicans would kill him. Rehoused him in Mexico. Wildman was running the place. I went down there. He's driving around in jeeps with Mexican mafia dudes. Knocks out a guy, a crackhead, who sold him some fake crack in front of the police. They didn't even arrest him. So, yeah, Wildman is unique in any environment, definitely.
You concentrated on the negative.
Oh, sorry. Wildman, the real deal, balls of steel. Does anyone know what Wildman's name is? Peter Mahoney. I've already done that one. Right.
Funny story about that, actually.
Go for it.
Well, I was in Vegas in the Millennium, and they were doing this countdown. Not for the New Year coming in. We were staying at the Excalibur. Me, Shaun, Schoolie, a pile of us went down there. So anyway, we're partying and get in there. At the time, I went with Robbie Rigetti, and there's a lad come from Widnes called Martin Edge. He was staying with us. So anyway, yeah, we're staying there. I go downstairs, play on the fucking one of the bandits. I win 1,200 quid, but probably put about 300 in. So getting ready to go out, having a few beers. They do this countdown, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. I look up, and I swear to God, there's a guy who falls from a fucking tree. He'd been up there doing the countdown, and he leant over and he touched the electric, whatever the fucking is, and he actually died in front of us, didn't he?
Yeah. The only fatality at the turn of the millennium happened right in front of Wildman.
And everyone was like, oh! And I was fucking eated up to fucking everything. It was like, ah!
High on ecstasy.
I was laughing my fucking head off. And it was wrong, I know, but everyone's looking at me and all that.
He was on about 20 different pills that night.
Yeah. And a bit more of that story is the fact is, I'd managed to fucking just get lost, to end up down a fucking alleyway with a fucking hooker, and then fucking I forgot my name, didn't know my name, didn't know fucking where it was. I went to the hotel reception to try and get in. They wouldn't let me in because I didn't have a shirt on. They're asking me with my name and where, what number I'm staying at, and for the life of me I couldn't even say my fucking name. I didn't even know it. Anyway, there's a story about that.
Right, I'm on now. Wildman responds to comments number 1. See if there's any fresh comments on there, because we've done all the other comments on the other one that were fresh. People asking for you to go on the True Geordie. We've already announced that. Loving the channel, subscribed. Lots of respect to you guys. Wildman is sexy. Alright, we've done these. Let me go over to Wildman responds to comments number 2. Here it is. Let's see what we got here. And find the newest comments. Has Peter's Irish heritage? Do you have Irish heritage, considering Mahoney is an Irish name, Irish descent?
Yes, I do. My mum's from Northern Ireland, but that's not actually, that's the only Irish heritage I have. My dad's name is Mahoney, it's Mahoney, but it's pronounced Mahoney.
Do you regret any of it? Would you have rather landed a boring 9-to-5 job and avoided prison?
Fuck no. Got no regrets whatsoever.
How big is Wildman?
6'2" and a bit. Fucking fluctuates from 22.5 stone to fucking 23 stone.
And in American, that's what, £300 or something?
Yeah.
Obviously the trolls are dickheads, but fuck, it's funny when Wildman gangsters up and calls them a cunt or something. Well, we'll unleash him from time to time on the trolls, don't worry. We're trying to get the nice people answered first. But yeah, I think it is funny when Wildman goes off on the trolls as well.
It's even better if they've known him that much to want a 10 grand straightener, for fuck's sake.
Someone wants to fight him for 10 grand. I've done time in the UK. I've met guys like Wildman, dangerous guys, but deep down they are genuine souls. That was nice.
Yes.
Can't stop listening to your stories. I worked in high profile sales and business development for years, and there's Shaun type characters in the office, blah blah blah. God, he's asked loads of questions here.
Answer the questions, lad. They're all
Did
positive.
any of your personal skills you gained from wheeling and dealing in the stock market and having to deal with all walks of life help you to communicate better with different races, gangs, drug dealing, etc.? Yeah, I reckon, because I'm a people person, that, and the other thing as well, being English in America really puts you ahead of the game because they roll out the red carpet as soon as you hear your accent. So if you've got people skills, add people skills from talking on the phones. I'm not a fighter, Wildman's a fighter. So I use my people skills to get through and coordinate with all people.
Was a fighter.
But Wildman, if someone asks Wildman the wrong thing, he's just going to knock them out. Question, Wildman, what's the craziest shit you've ever seen? Well, the guy dying on New Year's Eve was quite crazy, wasn't he?
Yeah, a guy shooting himself in front of me in my apartment was quite
Shooting
crazy.
accident was quite crazy, yeah.
And I had my passport took off me by the police, and then eventually they come back and give it to me. But yeah, that was
Tasering, the woman tasering.
that was a bit crazy. Yeah, Corey, some sissy girl that I met, who I stayed with for ages. She was cool, but like having her clit tasered, and
I saw that as
whipped.
well.
It was
Yeah,
like,
her whole body was covered in burn marks and scars and from slashings and cigarettes getting put out on her and taserings. And her and Wildman was just like a perfect match at that time. Those red dots are likely something coined HPPD. In other terms, drug-induced pseudo-hallucinations. Let me just explain this.
no, that's wrong. That
I know it is. Wildman, since childhood, has seen red dots telling him to hurt people. It's a theme in the book Party Time, and I'm sure True Geordie's going to be asking you about it. This was all pre-drugs.
I wasn't even doing drugs.
Certain drugs did aggravate it, though, and certain drugs did calm it down, didn't they, over the
Yeah,
years?
I mean, but before I'd do any drugs, I was just drinking and having a few, like, when I was 16, I was engaged, and I had a baby coming, and I was living a normal life working at the Crispy. So I wasn't even doing drugs. But the red dots were there.
Yeah, it's a great theme in Party Time. Wildman's red dots. And his eyebrow as well. If his eyebrow shoots up, you know something's about to happen. Right. Shouldn't be concentrating on this comment really as much as I'm about to.
Yeah.
Jeff Saunderson. Interesting little snippet from Attwood. It's all innocent party time mischief, wrong place, wrong time. It's clear Attwood was having people hurt, maybe murdered over a few pills. Not such a nice guy. Be interesting to see the carnage these guys these guys did. No matter how much I try, I can't see glory, glamour in violent thugs. Any cunt can be ruthless, greedy and violent. Now listen, Wildman's reputation preceded himself.
I see what my reply was to that. I think I replied to that.
I didn't have to have Wildman hurt anybody. Fuck yourself, you judgmental prick, was Wildman's comment. Wildman did not need to hurt anybody in the rave scene, for me, when it came to collecting debts. Because my favourite thing was,
He'd pay you with a hug.
if someone owed me money, I'd Wildman move in with them. If Wildman moved in with you, you were fucked. He would have people cooking crack in the kitchen. He would sell off everybody's furniture and appliances. He would have Native American transgender street prostitutes coming in shooting up heroin. He would have gangbangers coming in. He would have Russian mafia coming in. It was absolute mayhem, and we'd start throwing house parties out of all those places that he moved in. So people paid me because they did not want Wildman moving in with them. That was the worst possible punishment.
I've got a story I'm going to
within my organisation.
I've got a story I'm going to tell you in a bit about. There's Gary Manicello. Can I actually mention names?
On this it's not going to be watched by 1 million people like the True Geordie, but on True Geordie, for legal reasons, it will be better to change names of people that you think might have a problem with it.
I'll tell you the
Yeah,
story
yeah.
about Gary Manicello anyway. I moved it. Well, I won't tell you now, but after I've done the comments, I'll tell you the story about how I actually moved in. He got jacked, or he said he got jacked, with some of our drugs, so I thought, I know. Shaun said, first thing, move in, assess the situation, see what's going on. So I did move in, and cut a long story short, the place went on fire, and I'll tell you the whole story about that within the next half hour.
Wildman wasn't so wild when he was taking cock in his mouth in the joint. This is that John Kennedy guy who keeps coming up. And I think that's his sexual fantasy about you. That's in his mind, lad. What does that say about John Kennedy? He sits there whacking off, thinking about Wildman taking it. So he's obviously got something. He needs a hug. Right,
he needs a hug anyway, because he's a Rangers fan, for God's sake.
Next one. This is a long one. Serious question for you both. Watching your videos, highly interesting, entertaining. But do you both think that by posting these videos and laughing, that'd be a gay laugh or a regular laugh or a Bronski beat laugh?
A Broski beat laugh.
Do you think by posting these videos and laughing about some of the things you have both experienced, you are glorifying them? I'm not insinuating that you are judging. I don't know where I stand on it myself. I'm genuinely intrigued as to how you reconcile it. I've seen you, Shaun, say that you've helped many other criminals turn their lives around and you are truly reformed, but some of the things you experience are funny. Do you think you should now be profiting from your criminal exploits in the form of book sales, video or revenue? I know I would probably do the same, and I wonder what that says about our society and us as
Do you
human
see
beings.
the gold chains and the fucking diamond rings? There's no one profiting here, pal. All we're doing is we've got a story to tell, and we're telling it. We're not trying to make fucking money off it or glamorise it. We're just we're trying to get people. You've got it all completely wrong. Our ethos is to get people not to do what we did, not to go ahead and do it. So maybe read a bit more of the books and actually get to know the person before you slag him off.
Yeah, I must have spoke to over 100,000 young people in schools and colleges now. And when I just really emphasise the consequences, the jail conditions, my mum having a nervous breakdown, remortgaging the house to come up with money for a lawyer, I can't travel to loads of countries now, lose all these foreign gigs because of my criminal record. I emphasise the consequences of it, but at the end of the day, we've got to keep it real. We've got to actually say what we did.
I'm the opposite.
In real life.
I did it, don't give a fuck. Really. Shaun has remorse. I don't have remorse. I lived it, did it, and I'm here to tell the fucking tale. Move on.
And as far as making money off the books, some of that's been going to my parents to pay this money back I owed them for the legal fees.
You don't have to explain to fucking people how you're making a living, for fuck's sake.
And also, I donate a lot. I've donated like 20,000 books to school kids and prisoners. Alright, let's see.
I'd give fuck all, I would.
Does either yourself or Wildman have any tats? My brother's a tattoo artist. I'm 18 in 2 years. Looking for some inspiration for a tat and maybe an interesting story.
My advice is don't get a tattoo, because once you've got a tattoo, you're a marked person. Or, no, okay, don't get a political tattoo, or don't get like a white pride or anything. Don't get any street tattoos.
I saw one guy with Hitler on his chest. Zeke Heiling over a gas chamber with Jews dying in the gas chamber that was in the county jail. And this leads on to the next question. Despite there being racial divisions, are most prisoners racist?
No, most prisoners aren't racist, actually. Most prisoners don't like the fact that... Because I mentioned this comment before. You could be in prison with people who you actually know, who are a different race, and you were running with on the streets, they were doing jobs, you were doing jobs, you were mates. And yet in prison you're not supposed to be able to... You can acknowledge him, but like ever give him a hug or like come and sit in my little fuck or sit on my bed and have a chat and all that's fucking you can't do. It's the way it is in prison. It's to keep, I suppose, it's to keep everyone in order, but it doesn't really work. I think, and not all prisons. I've actually seen on some of the California ones or whatever ones I was watching, it might be in Alabama, I seen like black people sat on the same table as white people eating food and that. Now, it doesn't happen in Arizona. Well, I know for a fact it doesn't happen in Arizona, but in England, there ain't no like sort of, you can't sit with another colour or anything like that. So it's just I think it's wrong personally. I think you should be able to sit and talk to who the fucking hell you want, but you're there, you're under their rules, and don't even get it twisted and think that the guards that are running the prison, the guards aren't running fuck all. The guards are just fucking there to stop fucking real chaos happening. It's the prisoners who are running the prison, and it's the guys from the SMU sending the kites down, all the way down to the yard runners. Because when you're on a minimum camp or you're on that, you're not on, there ain't no real brothers on there. You're not going to see no fucking brothers. Because brothers are all, they've got the mark on them, they've got the white power or the white pride, or they've got the 1488, if you're a Skinner and all that. You don't see any of that because they're straight on SMU. If you're showing gang, you're SMU'd. That's why I'm saying don't get no, even if you're in a gang, don't get a gang tattoo. As soon as you go in there, you don't want you've just lost your freedom and you're on a 23-hour bang up.
Yeah, so what Wildman was saying is that there came a point in time when the Arizona Department of Corrections thought to themselves, let's build a super maximum security prison. We'll go on all the yards, look at all the tats of all the gang members, find out who the leaders are through the tats, and we'll classify them as security group threat status and house them in Supermax and never let them out. And then the theory was that these guys then, by taking them off the yards where most of the prisoners are, they wouldn't be able to run the show. But what actually happens is, those guys, through inmate workers, porters, stuff like that, they write what's called kites. These are letters that they write down, and these kites are then transported by the prison workers through the prison system down to the lower level yards, lower security, and the people they put in charge of those areas and buildings receive these kites and follow these orders from the Aryan Brotherhood leaders.
Now it could be literally a 100-word message on a fucking Rizzler paper.
Written in code as well.
Written in code, they write that small and they write and people know. They go via, when they get the scran, when people go to them and give them the chow, the food, they'll pass it on to them. That gets down to the probate. Now the probate is the one who's running the yards for them on their behalf, and then the probate, the yard head devises it to each dorm, so each dorm has a dorm head, and then things go on from there. It's a division.
Loads of people are saying, where do you live? They want to buy you a beer. So Wildman's in Widnes, Cheshire, our hometown, and do you welcome people buying you beers?
Yeah, I'll have a beer with anyone.
Because Wildman just drinks at home, so you'd have to actually come to his house. Are people allowed to visit you here?
Yeah.
Well, you need to set something up so people can contact you. What's the best way for people to contact you? Through your Facebook page?